Yo, guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the locker room. We are back with another episode. It has been a little bit because, Nick will not be joining us on the show anymore. Just going to get that out of the way real quick. He will no longer be on the show for personal reasons I don't really want to get into right now. So, Nick's not on the show anymore. So, today I'm just going to be doing this show by myself. And that's also why we have not been uploading, looking for a new co host. But it's playoff time. Had to figure I'd get you guys an episode real quick, as it is Wildcard Weekend. Wildcard Weekend is here. A moment that we all wait for as football fans. A big moment in all of football fans' hearts. And honestly, it's probably one of my favorite weeks of the year because playoff football starts. We have some pretty big matchups this week. But before we get into that, I want to talk about two matchups last week that had huge impacts on the game that involved two games going into overtime, which was absolutely insane games. And the tie meme almost became a reality, but Derek Carr did not let that happen. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, we're going to talk about the Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Big Ben, everyone thinking it's going to be his final game, thinking he's going into retirement, thinking he's going to lose, thinking they're already eliminated from the playoffs. If they beat the Ravens, they keep their playoff hopes alive. It was, I believe, 13-13 at the end of the fourth quarter, and they go into overtime. And it stayed 13-13 that entire overtime until the Steelers overtook the Ravens, and Chris Boswell banged a field goal to win the game and to keep the Steelers. The Steelers win the game. Their playoff chances weren't really that high, but there was another game that happened. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Colts, you win, you're in. Not the case for the Jags, but it doesn't matter because Trevor Lawrence and the Jags still showed up to play without Urban Meyer. This proves that Urban Meyer is not a good coach and he did not belong there. So we just proved that a team can win any day, any given Sunday. The Jacksonville Jaguars proved that. Dominated the Colts, pure dominance throughout the whole game. The Colts had one touchdown, and that was pretty much in garbage time. But overall, a huge impact on the whole playoffs was the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it's crazy to think. Think to yourself how the worst team in the NFL can put you in the playoffs or it can put you out of the playoffs. And if you're a Colts fan, they put you out of the playoffs, along with the Ravens and along with some other teams. So that is just insane to think about, that the team in the number one overall pick can knock you out like that quick in an instant. So, with Pittsburgh getting the win and, the Jags overtaking the Colts, that left with the Steelers ultimately making the playoffs. But the only thing that could not happen is a tie. And there's been a meme all week saying, oh, if the Jags win, or if the Jags beat the Colts, the Raiders and Chargers can just take knees all game and for a tie. And I'm like, bull crap, that's not going to happen. It's not going to tie. But I was wrong because it almost did. Going into that Raider game, it was pure dominance for the Raiders in the first quarter. Pure dominance. Going up 10-0. Then the Chargers flipped the script real quick. It was pure dominance for them in the second quarter. That went to halftime. Raiders got a late field goal. It went to 17-14 at halftime. Chargers getting the ball. Chargers got the ball. Did not do anything with the ball. Then the Raiders went down, and they did not do anything with the ball. So fast forward a couple of drives. The Raiders eventually do get a field goal. And then they end up getting a touchdown, and then they fail the 2-point conversion to make it 26-14. Then the Chargers convert on a 4th and 21 to get a touchdown to make the score 21-26, I believe. This was after the Raiders got a field goal, 29-26 or 29-21 or 29-22 because they did get the field goal or the 2-point conversion. So the Raiders just need to run out the clock, 4 minutes left. That's all you need to do. But within those 4 minutes, the Chargers managed to score again. Within a snap of 2 minutes, the Raiders, they were tied. So we go into overtime. And this was probably my favorite game as a Raider. I legit almost died. It was an amazing game. Amazing ending. Fourth quarter, Raiders go down. They kick a field goal. Then the Chargers complete a slant to Mike Williams across the middle. He takes it for 50. But the Raiders defense prevailed, held them to a field goal on a 3rd and 6, got the stop, 32-32, with about 2 minutes left. And this is where stuff really gets interesting. The Raiders and Josh Jacobs ran for about 50 yards that drive. Josh Jacobs started off the drive, bang, 28-yard run to get him in pretty much field goal range. And that whole time the Raiders thinking, all right, we'll take the knee. It comes to a 3rd and 4, not in field goal range. They will take them to a tie, pretty much. But then Brandon Staley used a timeout. Raiders' mindset changed. And they run the ball. Josh Jacobs gets the first down, puts them in field goal range. As the time is ticking down, Derek Carr smiles at that scoreboard, calls a timeout. Then they bring on Daniel Carlson. Daniel Carlson kicks a perfect right down the middle field goal to send the Raiders to the playoffs and eliminate their division rival, Los Angeles Chargers. That is a fairy tale ending to a Raider season. As Chris Collinsworth said, if you wrote a movie script and showed this to someone, they would have walked out of the room because this was just an absolute crazy game that it was honestly so fun to watch. And if I could relive it, it'd be amazing. But, oh my God, my heart probably sank 10 times. But the Raiders should have won that game by a lot more. 29-24, or it was 29-14 with 4 minutes left. Ended up going into overtime. That cannot happen. So, getting all the controversy out of last week out of the way. We move on to this week. It is wildcard week. What we're going to be doing right now is I'm going to be giving you my full playoff predictions. And then throughout the next couple weeks, we'll most likely be giving you a more of an in-depth of each round of the playoffs. But today's just going to be the whole playoffs, my prediction before it all happens. And I don't know if this episode will be coming out Thursday or Friday, but it will be coming out before the wildcard round starts on Saturday at 4. Might even come out Saturday morning. So we're not cheating. Trust me. So the first matchup is, and actually I have breaking news right now. It is currently official. David Culley, Texans head coach, is fired after his first season as of right now at 316. Or at, 312. Little late on that. But David Culley fired. Anyway, getting back to it. Raiders game. Right, you know what? I'm going to talk about the Raiders last. We're going to talk about the Raiders last. I don't care what you guys think. I'll be biased. So, I'm going to go into a bigger depth on these games later in the show, but we'll start with the Raiders right now. We'll start with a little brief. So, what I have happening is, first game, Raiders versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Big game. I have the Raiders winning this one. Might be a little biased, but I have the Raiders winning. I'll get into more depth later. And then we have the Patriots I don't know the times of these games, but then we have Patriots Bills on the AFC side. I have the Patriots winning this one, which is a little bit different. Then we have Steelers Chiefs. No doubt I have the Chiefs. And then the Patriots would play the number 1 seed Tennessee Titans. So then Patriots Titans, I got the Patriots winning. I don't think Tennessee's a great team. I really don't. I don't think Tennessee is worth the number 1 seed. I think Belichick can easily outsmart them, and I am really high on the Patriots this playoff season, as you will see later. So I have the Patriots being the Titans to advance to the AFC Championship. Then we have Raiders Chiefs. It's going to be ugly for the Raiders. I will admit the Raiders will not win this game. 48-9 last time they played, and before that it was 41-14. Don't like the Raiders' odds here in Arrowhead again. I got to take the Chiefs as the Chiefs advance to the AFC Championship against the Patriots. And this is a very interesting game that I have gone back and forth on. Patriots versus the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship. We've seen it a couple years ago. The only difference is Tom Brady will not be there. But Mac Jones has shown signs of being that next quarterback of the future. This defense has been amazing. Patrick Mahomes, on the other side, has played phenomenal. Andy Reid, probably the 2 best head coaches going up against each other in this game. And I originally had the Patriots, and I'm still not I can't pick them yet. I cannot pick the Patriots yet, as I am going to take the Kansas City Chiefs on this one. The offense is too good, and that defense has played really well this season. Andy Reid is, much as a better coach Belichick is, Kansas City just has the better roster to get it done. So Patriots advance to the Super Bowl. Kansas City advanced to the Super Bowl. Then we head to the NFC. We have Philadelphia versus Tampa. I love Philadelphia. I'm really high on Jalen Hurts, but they're also playing Tampa Bay. I will never go against Tampa Bay. I am sorry about that. Tampa Bay is just unstoppable. They're just unstoppable with Tom Brady in the postseason. Jalen Hurts getting his first playoff start. Tom Brady's been here before. Tom Brady's going to win once again. Then we probably have the weirdest game, the closest game, because we have two great teams who have been playing really poorly. We have the Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals have been playing extremely poorly these past 8 weeks, and the Rams are on and off. I love the Rams. I think the Rams are an amazing team on the paper, but the way they execute these past couple weeks, it has not been great at all. Beating the Ravens barely, who just lost to Pittsburgh. They just lost to San Fran. It has not been a good stretch for these Rams, even though they do have a nice record at 12-5, I believe. Number 4 seed. Then the Arizona Cardinals, ever since that loss to the Packers, it has been a downhill slope. Kyler Murray, his absence has been a big impact on some of those losses. But even when he's there, he is not playing to his fullest potential, even though they will be getting DeAndre Hopkins back. I don't think that'll be enough, as I still think that the LA Rams are going to outhandle them, outcoach them, outplay them in every which way on each side of the football. That's why I have the Rams advancing. Then we have probably going to be my biggest upset of the week. We have San Fran versus Dallas. Dallas offense has been hot, but so has San Fran's defense. San Fran's defense has been playing great, beating the Rams, getting that game-sealing pick. And then you have the Cowboys with a great offense. It's going to be a very high-scoring game. Dallas's defense has been all right. Trayvon Diggs, most overrated corner. Most overrated player. Let's be real. I'm easily able to say that. So, San Fran, Dallas. I said it was going to be the biggest upset because I am taking San Fran all day here. Kyle Shanahan and this offense is going to click easily. I think they'll be able to go over that defense, and I think go over the Cowboys defense, and I think that the 49ers defense will easily be able to stop Dallas. That's just my opinion. I'm not a big fan of Dak Prescott, so I just think that in that offensive line, it's been a little beat up. I think that D-line can get after them, and I think that they have a very good secondary. But we'll see what happens there. But I think that San Fran advances. Now we're into the divisional round. 2 versus 4. Rams versus Tampa. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as I said, I will never bet against Tom Brady. That might change a case because I think the Rams are a damn good team, as I said before. But that Tampa Bay defense secondary is hurt a lot. Matthew Stafford attacks in the air, but that up front could get pressure on him with a hurt offensive line for the Rams. So I'm going to take Tampa on this one. Tom Brady in the playoffs is just too clutch for me. And I'm sorry, but it's how it's going to be. I know people don't like Tampa, but Tampa, you can't deny how good they are. Then we move to San Fran versus the one, the only, the mighty Green Bay Packers. My friend Cody, been on the podcast before, big Packers fan. He has the Packers going all the way, I believe. So, Packers-Niners, rematch of the NFC Championship a couple of years ago. 49ers came out on top. Rodgers, most likely, if they don't win the Super Bowl, this is Rodgers' last season, in my eyes. And then Devontae Adams will hopefully come to the mighty Las Vegas Raiders, baby. And then Rodgers plays great, always has. This defense is a very good 49ers defense, but it is not the same defense that they saw in 2018. But this is also a very better offense than we saw in whenever that NFC Championship game was. So I'm going to be taking the Packers as the Packers advance to the NFC Championship with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the second straight year in a row. Will they have the same outcome? You're about to find out, in my opinion. Packers, Bucks, two great offenses alongside two great defenses. The Packers defense has been mightily improved this year, but will it be able to stop Tom Brady? That's a good question. I think this game will be extremely close. Extremely close. But it's going to be the same outcome as last year, guys. I'm sorry. I think Tampa Bay takes it over the Green Bay Packers. I don't want to say it, but I think it's what happens. I mean, it's just the reality. Tom Brady in the playoffs is so clutch with that receiving core, although you don't have Chris Godwin. Maybe not Mike Evans, but and Antonio Brown's gone too. But that whole offense is really high powered. But Rodgers, they can't get it done in the NFC Championship ever, so I don't think they'll get it done this year either. So then we have in the Super Bowl, Kansas City versus Tampa Bay for the second straight year. I hate to say it. I don't want Kansas City in the Super Bowl, but let's just face it. It's a big, big possibility, along with Tampa being in the Super Bowl. Last year in the Super Bowl, we saw Tampa absolutely dominate them. I don't think that's happening this year. They won't dominate them at all. Their secondary is weak this year. Tampa secondary has definitely weakened, but that up front has been about the same as last year. But the big difference in this play or this new matchup here is the Chiefs' offensive line has massively improved. You add the additions of Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey has been phenomenal. Number one ranked center on PFF, I believe. Creed Humphrey has been phenomenal. So that is going to be a huge impact on this game, if you want to believe it or not. So then we just need to see if Patrick Mahomes can outplay Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and that is a huge task to do. But I don't think it will happen. It will not happen. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going all the way for the second straight year in a row, beating the Kansas City Chiefs for the second straight year in a row, beating the Green Bay Packers for the second straight year in a row, and for the second straight year in a row, they will be hosting the Lombardi Trophy, and Tom Brady will say, "I'm coming back." And Tampa Bay might do it again next year. Who knows how long Tom Brady's going to play, but until they don't win a Super Bowl, he's going to keep playing. And I think they're winning the Super Bowl this year. So why would he not keep playing if they do win? So that is my playoff predictions. And now we're going to go in depth on the Raider game. And this part of the episode is made strictly for Mike Mitchelson, because he commented on my tweet I posted, "Can't wait to hear all the reasons on the next episode of the podcast on why the Raiders are going to beat the Bengals." I'm going to tell you them right now. Let's face the facts here. Derek Carr has not played great these past 9 weeks, but he has played winnable. Derek Carr can step his game up. I have seen him play at an elite level. We all have, and he will do that. He has been waiting for this his whole career. He has probably more reasons to play harder than anyone on the Raiders organization. Him and Rich Bisaccia are going to come out fighting, and they're going to come out strong. This offense is going to be high-powered. We're going to get momentum going, and we're going to pound the ground, pass through the air, and we are going to attack that Bengals defense. My biggest worry about the Raiders is their offensive line. So I need to get the ball out quick, take shots here and there, force penalties down the field with the Bengals secondary, and that is how we will win this football game. But a bigger reason we will defeat the Bengals is the defense side of the football. Because we have a little guy named Mad Max Crosby and a bigger guy named Yannick Ngakoue on each edge. You guys have given up a ton of sacks, one of the worst offensive lines in football, and you are facing one of the best defensive lines in football. How will the Bengals keep up with that? Bottom 5 offensive line versus a top 5 offensive line. It's that simple. Max Crosby has over 100 pressures this year. That is first in the league. That is absolutely ridiculous. And the last time that the Raiders played Joe Burrow, I do believe that they held him to 150 passing yards. They did. So the key is the offense as well as the defense, as it is to every football game. But I have faith in the defense's game. We can attack your offensive line. We've seen it done before. We've seen it done many times. Max Crosby is a monster. Max Crosby will come at you guys with full strength, and then you'll finally get a double team on him. You'll finally stop him. And then from the left side, or the right side, you will have Yannick Ngakoue fill in his gap. from the out, and he's going to have his contain, he's going to have his gap, and he's going to get Joe Burrow or Joe Mixon one way or another. I do not see one way you guys stop this defensive line. And having a great defensive line leads to turnovers and punts, leading to sacks, leading to missed throws, which leads to interceptions, leading to hits on the quarterback, which leads. You guys, Future Landon here. As I'm editing, I just realized that part of the end of the episode got cut off, but you guys didn't miss much. I was done talking about the Raiders' defensive line, I believed, how they can get to Joe Burrow and force turnovers, and I basically just spieled on about the Raiders and how they're going to beat the Bengals the rest of the episode, so you did not miss much, but apologize for the inconvenience, and still wanted to upload it, so I'll see you next time.